Call to order the December 10th, 2018 Chaska Parks and Recreation Board meeting. Item agenda 1 is roll call, please.
Jonathan Grau.
Here.
David Roan.
Here.
David Downs.
Here.
Ernesto Ruiz Gutierrez.
Here.
Joshua Ives.
Here.
Lauren Mahalov. Patricia Whitrock.
Here.
Sean Olson. Jason Branch.
Here.
Michael Flaherty Wilcox.
Okay. Agenda item 3. Adopt the December 10th, 2018 Park Board agenda as presented. Anything missing or to add? If not, we'll take a motion to approve or to adopt the agenda for December 10th, 2018.
I move to adopt.
A motion from Roan.
I second.
Second from Whitrock. All in favor of adopting the agenda as presented for December 10th, 2018 Park Board, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, or all against, nay? Passes. Item 4, visitor presentation. We do have a visitor presentation. I remind you to speak nicely into the microphone. Yeah. Name, address, and you're free to present.
Lyle Murden, 2816 Spyglass Drive, kind of up on the northwest corner. And I swung by here to say thank you on behalf of my dog for the dog park. Yeah, enjoyed it this weekend, 2 days, and just really appreciate it. There were a lot of people there over this weekend because the weather was nice and stuff, so it's getting used and everyone likes it. So just had to come by and say thanks.
Well,
Thank you for coming.
It's fulfilling a need the community had, because everyone's got dogs. There are leash laws. In fact, I have a police officer who lives in my neighborhood and gives me a rough time when I have mine off leash. So this year, no longer need to go sneaking around off leash playing fetch. We can go down there and spend a good hour just going back and forth with the ball, and she had a great time, and there were nice people down there. So I think it's going to be a very heavily used park, once word really gets out. So thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thanks,
Thank you. Before you run off, you want to say?
I do.
I'll defer to you.
Because Lyle served on the Parks Commission a number of years ago, and it was actually in a meeting that he attended as a citizen of Chaska. Came and said, I think that it would be a great thing for Chaska to have a dog park, and it was not even on our radar at that point. And then a few months later, he applied for the Parks Commission, and he served. And we heard about, the need for a dog park every month thereafter. And and Lyle's, was the advocate, and it was going back 14 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
That he started banging that drum, and of course it was, it quickly got on our radar. It just kind of took us a while to get it done.
Yeah.
But I do think that, what we are going to end up with there is going to be terrific, and I would expect that you like the location as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and central, throughout the entire city, so it'll serve everyone, well. So, I mean, it takes, 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon stoplights, to get there, but, it's something that was needed, so.
Well, thank you on behalf of the citizens of Chaska for putting that on our radar all those years ago when you did, because I think we all agree it's going to be a terrific asset for our community.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Lyle.
you. Thank you, Lyle.
Have a good rest of the meeting.
Thank you. You're not going to stick around?
What was that?
You're not going to stick around?
No.
All right. You'll catch us on YouTube. I got it.
Yeah.
He's a subscriber.
Thanks.
All right. Seeing no other individuals for visitor presentation, we'll move to agenda item 5, approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 Park Board meeting. Discussion welcome. Second, a motion and a second to approve if you want to move forward.
Was Lauren at the meeting last in October?
I don't think so. It shows that she was absent, but I don't recall.
Okay.
get to go back and watch the tape.
Right. No, my memory's probably worse than these minutes, so I'll believe it. Motion to approve the October minutes.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ives. Have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Downs. All in favor of approving the minutes of the October 8th, 2018 Park Board meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It's passed. Agenda item number 6, new business, is recommendation to City Council to appoint Parks and Rec Board Chairperson and Vice Chairperson. So I thought the way I would envision, a couple of different ways to envision this. If you're interested or if you want to nominate someone, we can have nominations, and hopefully if you nominate someone else, they have an opportunity to accept or decline. And then at some point, we can continue to have discussion. And then at any point we feel ready to move forward, we'll start with the chair, and then we'll do the same process for the vice chair. But at any point, for example, for the chair, that you feel ready to make a motion and then a second, we'll put it to a vote. If the vote passes, we got our chair or vice chair. If it doesn't, we'll continue conversation and see if there's any other nominations in the process. Any questions or concerns about that process? Okay, so hearing none, looking at a chair of the Park and Recs Board, anyone want to nominate someone or nominate themselves?
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate a person with vast Park and Rec experience and obviously an interest in how the Parks and Recs Department continues to expand and improve, Mr. Dave Roan.
Okay. Would you be okay with that nomination?
Yes, I would like to accept that nomination.
Okay. So we have one person's name in the hat. Does anyone else want to nominate? Or
Yeah, me too, Dave. Because, you know, he has been here a long time. I like the way he interact and, you know, with all of us too. So for me, it could be a pleasure if he takes the place.
Anyone else have personal interest themselves? Okay. Okay. Not hearing anyone. So I would actually need a formal motion to recommend to the City Council to appoint David Roan as Park and Rec's chairperson. Anyone want to make that motion?
I will make that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ives and a second.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Whitrock. Good chair, Nesto. Come on up. We'll wait. We'll get you in on the vote. We are just appointing we have a motion to recommend to the City Council to appoint Commissioner Roan for chair of the Park Board, and we have a second. So all in favor of recommending to the City Council to appoint Commissioner David Roan as the Park Recreation Chairperson for next year, 2019, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
So half done. Now, we need a vice chairperson. Same kind of process. You can either nominate yourself or nominate someone on their behalf, and hopefully they accept. Vice chairman, if you're curious, serves in place of the chair if they're unable to attend. I think, not to jinx you here, but your attendance has been pretty good. I don't think you've missed a lot, so.
No, a few, but, and you haven't missed much. I think I've only had to sit in on, in your place a couple of times over the, was it 3 years you were chair?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, 3 years. Actually, no, 2.
Two?
So that's what the vice chairperson basically serves in case, gets this fancy gavel in place of if the chair, Commissioner Roan, is unavailable. So again, open the table up to anyone who wants to nominate themselves or nominate someone else to serve as vice chair. Looking around.
I will nominate myself.
Yep, I have a. Would you accept your own nominee? That's fair. Anyone else? Anyone else interested? All right. I will make a motion to recommend to the city council to appoint Commissioner Branch as vice chair. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
A second by
Strong second.
Commissioner Ives. All in favor of recommending to the city council to appoint Commissioner Branch as the Park and Recreation's vice chairperson, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Carries. Congratulations. That's awesome. Good job. All right. That brings us to agenda item 7, old business.
Okay, starting off with Lions Park off-leash dog area, just a few little updates. Public Works has been busy with the removal of the old bridge with the decent weather we've had. They're hoping to have the new bridge up in the next couple weeks, so I know I mentioned that before the meeting, but also they have the posts up in the back larger area. The fencing won't go up until the spring because they still have quite a bit of clearing a brush and moving some stuff around back there. So, but the posts are in and progress is being made. And as Lyle and Pat both have said, there's been a lot of four-legged friends. They're having fun, and I think everyone's quite happy with that park. So that's good. So yeah, stay tuned for an update in a couple months here. Moving on to B with Veterans Park update. Park dedication was on Veterans Day in November. For those of you there, you probably remember how cold it was standing outside, but we figured we had almost 200 people out that day. It was a really, really nice ceremony. There were a ton of veterans there, many from out of town, and just nothing but praise for how wonderful that park is. The VFW had a little gathering afterwards with chili and just a nice gathering of folks, and it was just nice to get inside and be warm.
One thing I'd add, because I don't know, maybe everyone knew and I didn't know, but that's possible. I was unaware that Marshall was a veteran, so that's,
Yes.
so I would use there and
That's news to
and
me.
he was mentioned. I did not know that as well, so that was pretty cool to find out. So good, it wasn't just me that didn't know.
Yes, Marshall, myself, and Brian Jung had the honor of raising the city flag during the ceremony, and it was pretty cool. Very nice. If you haven't driven by there at night, I would highly encourage you. It is, with all the lights, it is just breathtaking. It's very, very nice, so go check it out. We are also, so Parks and Rec, along with the VFW and the American Legion and the Historical Society are selling the inaugural coins. So we're trying to do a big push for the holidays, and it's a great holiday gift for a loved one or for a veteran in your family. So if you are interested in one, they are selling them around town for $20 over the holiday season. So. And then in the spring, we'll also be accepting challenge coins once again. Right now, we're not taking them until we can get back into the park. And it is a little complicated to open the display case, so we're going to wait till spring before we add any more. So.
Is the selling of the coins, is that to spark interest, or is that a revenue generator to offset some of the costs of the park?
It'll go back into the park fund, kind of for ongoing maintenance.
Good.
7C, the 2040 comprehensive plan. So the draft went to council and was approved. So now it's been sent out for 6-month review to the county, the school district, various communities in Carver County. as well as the Met Council. So it also is online for review by the public still. It'll go through this 6-month review process where people can provide feedback to the council, and then they'll consider suggestions or revisions, and then it'll be final approval, and then it will be sent on to Met Council in the spring. Moving on to bike-friendly community update. I know Commissioner Roan was at the event towards the end of October where we had Minnesota Bike Alliance here and had a couple of meetings throughout the day, one with stakeholders in the community to talk about the trails and biking and what it would mean to the community, specifically downtown. And then another meeting in the afternoon where just folks interested in biking and the general public came, and that was really well attended, great feedback. The representatives from Minnesota Bike Alliance, representative from Michael's Bike, and then we actually, Tim from the bicycle program that has been in front of you presenting for the connection up off of Pioneer Trail. He also went out, and it was a very cold day. They went out on a 10-mile bike ride with Marshall to kind of not really inspect, but just kind of check out the bike paths throughout the community, kind of logistics of the trails, and get a feel for things. And they'll go back, Doran will put together a report on kind of what they saw that day as far as strengths and weaknesses, and then make recommendations, what we want to kind of look at and consider in order to continue moving forward through the process to actually get the designation. So it was a really good day with attendance and feedback. I think we have a lot of strengths we can build off of, and that can only help us get that approval and keep things moving forward. So once that preliminary plan is done, and it'll be a couple months yet, they'll come back in front of you all and present that and let us know some things that we need to do to keep moving forward in order to actually apply.
Okay. Any questions, comments on any of the old business 7A through D?
Just on the off-leash dog area, has the timeline for the bathroom redo or revamp, is that still slated for spring?
So a lot of that has been done. The one big thing that still is left to do is the doors. The security doors have not come in yet. The interior has had quite a bit of a facelift, waiting on the flooring. The rubberized mat now for the skaters throughout the winter will be put down, and then we'll be ready to go with the doors, hopefully coming in after the first of the year.
I think I've mentioned that to a few people at the off-leash dog area, and it didn't seem like anybody has known that was coming. You know, obviously it's not a major portion of the off-leash dog area in itself. That's just kind of a bonus, I guess, if people need to use the facilities or whatever.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think everyone will be thrilled. I know the pickleball players who play throughout the season are quite excited about it too, so.
Good.
Yeah, that'll be a
And
bonus.
that'll be used this winter for the hockey, right? That hockey rink.
So the
whereas
warming house
parking
side
is
will-
going to be used as a hockey rink in the winter, right?
Correct, yes.
Right.
And the warming house side will be open. The restroom facility side will not be because of the water being shut off for the winter season.
Anything else to add? Okay.
Are there portable latrines put out during the winter then, if the bathrooms are all shut off?
There's not.
Okay.
I think we have kind of a long-standing group of hockey players that have been playing there for years, and they know.
Okay, but the new dog park attendees who might be there during the winter?
Yeah. We possibly do not know.
Okay.
We don't have any signage up, but if they are checking the door, it is locked for the season.
Yeah, I suppose portable latrines are probably not that great in
Yeah,
the winter
for-
either, so, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But it turns into icicles pretty quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Other business, agenda item 8. 8A is department happenings.
Department happenings. Park and Rec has been extremely busy with a ton of holiday events that have been going very well, and weather permitting, we've been able to get them all done. Couple different tree lightings, both at City Square, the gazebo, last Saturday, and then the following night was Fireman's Park. Both were very well attended. Santa came to town to visit the little kiddos last Friday. That had a nice turnout as well. So yeah, we've just been really getting ready for the holidays. We have a big holiday membership sale coming up starting December 20th, and that'll run through early January. So a nice little idea for folks with their holiday gifts. Membership numbers are placed on there, kind of showing for a year ago, kind of some movement there. And obviously that is kind of, you know, when we have had our new sale and new equipment and some change, that has really increased our numbers coming in the door. We've got creative with some of the perks this year for the holiday membership sale. So we are implementing some referral plans where if you refer someone and they come in and get a membership, then the person referring will get 1 month free. And then if someone comes in and buys an annual membership, they're going to earn a perk where if they visit at least 8 times per month, January, February, and March, they can choose a perk from like 5 or 6 offerings that we're going to have. So kind of trying to tie it into the new year and people wanting to get really fit and make it a priority. So hopefully that will benefit them by doing so and earning some of those perks. I know a couple of you are interested in the Adaptive Adventures program. We have session 2 that started. We had 8 participants, which is up from 3 from the last session. So we're pretty excited about that. Word has definitely gotten out amongst parents. So that's pretty exciting, and we've made some modifications to the time and stuff, so that's going really well. Staff are pretty excited about that. The league's opened again for the second winter session at the Curling and Event Center, and again, went to full capacity, so over 240 teams have registered, so that's just continues to keep moving forward. The junior program filled as well, which is really awesome. This is really our first full year of this, and we've got over 50 kids. So we're pretty excited and hopeful to see some of them start to compete in the junior program across the metro area. You'll also notice on the department happenings, we made the addition of each month now moving forward. We're going to mention on here the featured artist in our art gallery at the community center, just to shed a little bit of light on who the artist is and kind of a little bio on their work. We just got done with a really amazing showing from Christina Keith. We were sad to see that one come down because I don't know if any of you were in there and saw it, but that's the first time she showed with us, and it was really, really nice work. So I think it's kind of a little bit of a hidden jewel if people aren't coming into that door of the community center by the theater. They miss out on it, and we're going to kind of try to promote that a little bit more so we can get more traffic through there to really see and appreciate some of the talent we have in the area. That came down one morning, and by the afternoon, we had our December showing up, and that is actually Christine is a teacher, and it is her group at the Chaska High School, the capstone show. So that's always a popular one. Parents bringing grandparents through and looking at the kids' work. So that one will be featured until the end of the month. We also have Don't Hug Me Christmas Carol in the theater. I don't know if any of you have been to see it, but I hear it's phenomenal. This was a pretty big deal for us. Typically they show in Minneapolis theaters. The producer has a brother who lives here in Chaska and was very interested in using our facility. So that's brought in a ton of traffic, and he is showing, I believe, through the end of the month. And it's like a Thursday through Sunday showing. So if you get a chance, or you have family in town that you want to entertain, that's a good opportunity. You can go online and order tickets, or I think you can get them at the door as well.
Do you know if you've seen it, like what sort of age is that? Who's it appropriate for?
I'm pretty sure it's adult.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the comedy and the actual stage itself is just one really large piece, and it's pretty much like a woodsy Minnesota, Wisconsin basement bar. So kind of gives you an idea.
Yeah.
Of
It's a kid's play.
I hear a lot of laughter and some good singing when I've been there, and they've actually been having it on, so it sounds fun. Lastly, we have in January upcoming one of the Tri-Cities pickleball tournaments, which actually has been hugely successful, and it'll be coming up here pretty quick as well. And there's some good competition back and forth between the communities, so it's kind of fun to watch.
Where are the other cities?
The other cities are Victoria and Chan.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a rivalry amongst them. Yeah, so that's it on kind of what's happening.
Eight B is board roundtable. We'll start with Commissioner Flaherty Wilcox.
Nothing for me.
Nothing? Branch.
I just have to comment, maybe I should have done before, but the Veterans Park, I do have to say, it's amazing. Driving 41 and then coming up the hill, when you look to the right, that bridge before, I've said it before, always made me smile. It looked awesome, all lit up. Now with the backdrop of the flags and everything lit up back there, it's stunning. It's really great. So couldn't be prouder of the city for the way that's just been managed and laid out. It's awesome. Very awesome. That's it for me.
Right.
So I've been going to the dog park quite a bit, a lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought I'd written off dog parks years ago because it was too far and it wasn't worth it for me, but I've been going there probably four or five times a week. So I really don't hear any negatives. The only thing I've noticed is I know there's a bag receptacle or whatever. That's been out several times, which, I mean, most people bring their own bags because they're probably surprised that we are providing them. But I don't know if that's needs
The
to be.
big dispenser.
Yeah, the big dispenser.
Empty?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's just been
No.
something I've noticed a couple times. But yeah, just overall very positive feedback. People are excited about the second piece being added. I think that'll drive. Some people I know aren't coming because it's only the fenced area, and I think people are excited for the woods option as well. One question I had on the curling: are you seeing a lot of repeat corporate events, or are you seeing a lot of one-offs because it was a novel thing at some point? You know, when it opened 2 years ago now. What are you seeing like? Are you seeing like 3M book 3 events a year? You know what I mean? Trying to get.
I think there's probably a percentage that continually come back.
Okay.
The nice thing with corporates out here in this area, a lot of them have teams now participating in the leagues. So that's been really pretty cool, and they're coming back consistently from the Southwest metro area. So The Learn to Curls are, you know, this time of year, we get a ton of requests from families that have visitors in town and they want to come in and show them and get them on the ice. But again, there's still a little bit of that unfamiliarity of, it's not like bowling, you know, you got to kind of go through this little learning process before we put you on the ice for safety reasons and to fully kind of understand it. So I think there's probably some folks that have been disappointed because we could have them 24/7 and still not be able to accommodate people during the holidays. There's just been a ton of requests and they've really filled up. But the corporate events continue to come in and
Are the corporate events full? You know, are the times available for corporate events full, or is there, if there was more interest in corporate events, could you accommodate it? Could we accommodate it?
It's a little bit of a juggling act because there's certain times of the day that we have people that we have to keep some of the ice for our members to practice. Some of the sheets have to be available. And then now that we have the high performers training there, they have their set times. So the window of opportunity to host those corporate Learn to Curls is, you know, is pretty set times. But if they've got flexibility, then we can make it happen.
Do we have an active marketing program to attract corporate events?
Yes. Yeah, there's been a lot of, you know, and really our best marketing for that has been, I don't know if you know, when the Vikings were playing that Sunday night, and that Saturday they had the, some of the retired players came out and
Yeah, I
did
saw
a
that on
Learn
TV.
to Curl.
It was very cool.
So we've gotten a
Right
lot of
from me.
free
That was on my list.
publicity. Yeah, and word of mouth. But to be honest, we haven't had to really do a ton of marketing for corporates. It's just really, they find us on their own, and it's just been very successful.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on mine when I got to me about the Sunday Night Football. That was cool watching the game and having the live in. I mean, it's not like the Super Bowl where it's huge dollars for a commercial, but it's still expensive. That's national spotlight with Chris Collinworth and them talking about it. I mean, I was just like, wow, that's awesome. And so I think like that was super cool to see. And you know, I commented to someone at work, I said, you know, it was nice because we named it appropriately right, because they had to say Chaska. This is the Chaska Curling Center, because if you recall, some of the beef sometimes with the Ryder Cup stuff is they refer to Hazeltine as in Minneapolis and not in Chaska. So when we named the Chaska Curling Center, they couldn't take that away, but it was pretty cool. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, and I actually sent an email to Matt and Marshall, because it was just like, you know, the dollars you spent on marketing and you didn't have to spend a thing on that was awesome.
And I think it was pretty amazing that was kept as quiet as it was, that they were there on Saturday. There was a lot of really good ball players there.
Yeah, because John Randall is probably one of the most noticeable human beings around, I would feel like. And he was there, like, so I don't know how you don't notice. I mean, there's some people that you'd see and you probably wouldn't notice, but I don't know if you're going to miss John Randall. Either his physical self or his talk and laugh.
Yeah.
So cool.
Just a couple things here. Last Wednesday, I attended a meeting with the Eastern Carver County Linking Trail Committee, and this is chaired by Bob Moeller, who's associated with the Met Council. And the mission of this committee is to try and complete trail connections between the communities in Eastern Carver County. So there's segments where there is not a connection. And so between Victoria and Chaska, between Victoria and Chanhassen, and Chaska, and so on. And the mission of this committee is to make those connections. And so again, Bob Moeller is the chair, but it includes, you know, Marty Walsh from, you know, Carver County, their Parks Department, Dan Keyport, who serves in the downtown Business Alliance here, as well as the Planning Commission. He is also one of those that attends. Three Rivers Parks has someone that attends. We have people from the Hennepin County Rail Authority, Chanhassen Parks, Victorious Parks, so we can see it's a pretty well-rounded group that, and it's all about trying to find, synergies and ways to get these connections done, because sometimes finding the ways to do it, funding-wise and otherwise, can get complicated. And so the meeting's always interesting, and we only meet a couple, 3 times a year. And one of the updates was provided by Marty Walsh from the county, and many of you may be aware that there's a segment of the Minnesota River Bluff Trail that runs from Chaska on a diagonal up into Eden Prairie that back in 2014 washed out. So it basically washed down the side of that river bluff, and to repair it is a multiple $million-dollar endeavor, or at least someplace between 1 and 2. And so there's been a lot of work that's gone into trying to apply for the funding that's needed to get this repaired. And so they've had multiple applications into FEMA, and they've looked at other ways, and there's been a lot of complications, and unfortunately Marty was reporting that more complications and difficulties are still in front of them. And so whereas we had hoped maybe they were getting close and where that trail segment could be repaired, this summer it's looking quite unlikely that that's going to happen at this point. But they're soldiering on, and they're doing their best to get it done. And hopefully that segment of 101 just off of 212 out there, the really steep one that's kind of windy, it's that segment of 101 that's actually slated for getting redone. So because on the north side of Pioneer Trail it's done, and then of course crossing over 101 into Shakopee, that's all done, and you've got that really old section of road that's steep, windy, and no shoulder. And so
Every day.
yes, and so that hopefully will not complicate further their ability to actually get into that segment of trail, which lies to the east of 101 there. So there's seemingly an endless stream of difficulties that are keeping this. But in the meantime, they do have detours for cyclists and the like that they can work around that. But it's hopefully they can get that thing done. So that's an update on that. And then there's a handful of other items here, but really none of them, I think, newsworthy at this point to comment on. So that was the Eastern Carver County Linking Trail Committee. And I know Marshall's attended, some of their meetings, and Nate Bostrom used to serve on this commission. I used to attend them, and I've been attending them for a couple of years now, and it's interesting to the efforts they're making to do some things that I think are important as you try and link these communities so that cyclists can flow between communities more easily, and especially as you're trying to draw the cycling community into downtown and to have them patronize our businesses and the like. It's get those connections done, it becomes an easier thing to happen. And then I guess one other thing, Dan Keyport had commented about the efforts being made on the trail mapping here in Chaska, and that process is ongoing. And without getting into the details, it's they're making progress on that. And then item 2, I guess just to add to what Mary was talking about as far as the art exhibits there at the community center. The one that just completed was spectacular. I don't recall seeing a better one, honestly. And for any of you that make it over to the community center but don't quite make it down that hall, take the time and do it, because the exhibits there are always worth the time. And the artwork is in many cases for sale too. So it's really a great space that's, I think, flies under the radar quite a bit. And then I don't know if this would be the appropriate time, but I just wanted to, I think that Jonathan, this is going to be your last meeting on the Parks Board, and this comes at the very end of your term as well, right?
Correct.
And then you're moving on up to the City Council. So remember us little people here when you're gone. But it's been a pleasure serving with you, and you've done a terrific job.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Sure don't?
I don't have anything else. I second it. I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate working with you while you're here.
I don't have anything this month.
All right, that leaves me. Now I have my we're fast here. I have my 4-page, no. Couple quick things. One, how many open commissioner spots? I did see the advertisement or the call for applications on social media as well as Facebook and Twitter, I think today. Do you know how many openings? I know like I'm
Across all of them?
actually, in this case,
Just
just
this one?
for the Parks and Rec.
Well, so,
Not counting people who may re-up, just they're open and they'd have to choose to re-up.
then really your spot,
Okay.
and we are going to, we've always had the opportunity to put a youth into one of the positions. So Marshall and I talked, and we are going to reach out to the high school and see if we can get a youth representative. If that doesn't happen, then depending on how many applications have come into City Hall with interest to the commissions, then we would come back and revisit with you to see if you would be interested in having one of those applicants come on to the park board to fill kind of your spot.
So there's no open alternate?
Not this year, which is kind of unusual.
Well, I would,
I'm sorry, we're not going to have an alternate after the first year?
We actually don't have an alternate right now, the way things have laid out.
Right.
And we will not have one moving into next year, according to Denise.
I guess I knew me, and then I was thinking that we had another opening with Nate stepping down, but then the alternate took Nate's
Yep.
spot. Got it. Okay. Well, I only asked just because for the millions of YouTube video watchers out there and everyone, I do want to encourage people to be civically engaged, and the park board has served me well for those 9 years, and I've had fun, and it's we take ourselves serious enough to get stuff done, but not overly serious at times, which I think is, for me, has always been a good mix. So I've had a few people stop and talk to me and ask about the park board, so I'm hoping they apply, but I would encourage others as well. And then last thing, I do want to actually just thank everyone. I'm not going to make this long or about me by any means, but served 9 years. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed working with the current staff and as well as the previous staff, as well as previous park board members. It's always been fun. What I just said, I think this group's always found a balance of taking things serious enough to get stuff done and appropriately done, but not taking ourselves too serious and having a good time doing it and having fun. And if any board, if that's most appropriate, it seems like Parks and Rec should have a little bit of fun with that as well. So I've always appreciated that. We've been proud of a lot of things. I try to sit up here a little bit and think of the things that the groups have accomplished. The Fireman's Park sticks out. The dog park definitely sticks out. We've had a lot of conversation. But I think some of the things that I've just enjoyed is just getting connected to people. We had they didn't get their trail done on the mountain bike trail, but I really appreciate just getting people passionate about something in the community and wanting to do something about that. So thank you. I also want to thank every one of you up here, right? I think you make this fun. Your service to the city is appreciative, and I've enjoyed every moment, and I look forward to continuing to work with the new chair and vice chair, as well as all the council commissioners, going forward. So that's all I have. So thank you, everyone.
I know Marshall wanted me to relay a message also, thanking you, Jonathan, for your years of commitment to the park board, as well as wishing everyone happy holidays, and he was really disappointed he couldn't be here tonight, and he looks forward to seeing you in January.
So that brings us to 9, adjourn meeting. I will make a motion to adjourn. Always seems appropriate.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by myself, Commissioner Gra, and a second by Commissioner Roan. All